All right, good morning, pen people. So for pen chat number 7, I'm actually kind of cheating a bit, and I'm not going to do pens. I'm going to do pen adjacent notebooks, specifically A5 notebooks, specifically A5 notebook systems. Um, so for the last year or so, I've been using the bullet journal method, and I've been using this particular type of notebook. I can't pronounce that, but it's the 888, and it's great. I mean, it takes me about 6 to 7 months to go through one. I keep everything in here. I do my monthly outlook. I have an index that I keep recipes and you know, I don't know, good restaurants, logins, passwords, things like that in the index. I keep um, kind of a very general monthly calendar with important deadlines and events and holidays and things like that. And then really I use it for my daily logs, and I do personal tasks, I do work tasks, and I'm kept up with it every day. Even on days I don't have anything going on, first thing I do in the morning, update my bullet journal. And I carry this with me everywhere. I update it throughout the day. It's been great. The downside to it has been that I don't ever write just for fun in this notebook, because this is like my productivity notebook. I don't just I have notebooks that I like to use for fun, that I'll sit in my recliner in the evenings and just write a bunch of nonsense. And I don't do that with this. So if I'm out somewhere and I want to just write something, if my wife and I are at a coffee shop and I've got a pen and I've got my bullet journal, I don't do that. So that's kind of what I was missing. So I've been researching these notebook systems, and I watched videos on Travelers. I didn't like the fact that those don't lay flat, and the kind of system to secure the notebooks to the portfolio looked a little flimsy to me. So didn't like Travelers. I looked up Plotter, but I don't like having the rings in the middle because I feel like that would aggravate me as I'm trying to write. I also didn't like the capacity of Plotter. The rings are very small, and I don't want to have to buy their paper or punch my own, which I'm sure is not hard to punch your own, but I just didn't want to deal with that. And most of my good paper are in these A5 insert forms, so I'd have to take the binder off, convert it to loose leaf, and then punch it and put it in. That just seemed like a pain. So then I was looking at another company. It's a British company. I can't remember the name of it. There's YouTube videos on it that I watched. Same thing. Rings are very big. That would be obstructive to me as I'm writing. And I again, all my good paper are in, bound notebook form. So that's where I settled on the Roterfaden. This is the Roterfaden Taschenbegleiter. And it came yesterday. So I spent the evening trying to get it set up and trying to figure out, a good flow to it. And I really, really like it. I think it's really well made. You've got good leather. You've got, machine stitch that feels secure. You've got, they didn't burnish the edges on the notebook, but that's okay. That will do it on its own. You've got a secure pen loop here on the outside that I've been keeping just a fine liner in. A nice and secure, sturdy elastic band. And then this elastic spine is the real winner. So again, been kind of experimenting on what works well. So the basic construction of this, you've got a felt liner, got a deep pocket here. You've got 2 small pockets up here. I've got a lens cloth, and then I had some business cards in this one, and then an inner pen liner that I just am keeping a small mechanical pencil in. And then this back liner, it would fit a Kindle. I've got receipts in here. And then you've got these metal clips in the spine, and these are all adjustable. So you can pull them out a little bit for a larger notebook. You can take the top ones out and slide them into the middle for like a passport size notebook or insert. And basically the reason why I went with this one is because it will fit any A5 insert, or smaller, or possibly larger, because like I said, you can adjust these. And it's pretty cool how it's laid out. Basically, you just take the clips, cash quit, and you put notebook insert right here. Sorry, my dog was making gross noises. And then that's it. So you can kind of use these clips almost like a bookmark and move them along as you want. But it lays flat. I mean, I think probably as I'm using it, I will probably take the notebooks out and write in it. But maybe not. I mean, just, I guess, depends on how thick it gets. So got that in here. And then I've got a dedicated monthly, just a blank monthly calendar, which is one of the things I wanted as an insert. And these are different brands too. This is not the Roterfaden paper. It came with some Roterfaden paper A5 inserts. They're fine, but like I said, I have so many A5 inserts that I don't think I'll use them. So in the second clip, that's where I've got this monthly calendar. Oops. And then the third one, I'm not keeping anything in there right now because I don't want it to get too bulky. But then I've got my Papermine B7 Tranexed, 196 page or 192 page or whatever, what I call my nonsense notebook that I just like to just write whatever pops into my head. No structure to it. It'll be quotes from TV shows that we're watching, or it'll be, I'll write, different pens and ink combos and just, again, pretty much anything. So that's this last one. So when it's all together, holds a good bit. I mean, and it's not too bulky either. I mean, if I wanted it less bulky, I could just take the larger notebook out. So one thing that I will miss, I guess, about bullet journal method is having everything in one spot. So this is basically this first insert, this just dot grid notebook is basically just going to be my bullet journal, and I'm going to keep my daily tasks in here. But it's only 96 pages, so I'm going to go through it pretty quick, probably 2 months or so. And so I don't, I am going to miss having a kind of 6 to 7 to 8 month notebook dedicated to just my life and my tasks, to where I can go back and look something up in the same notebook and not have to go find it on my bookshelf or something like that, or store it. But the good thing about this setup is that you could fit a larger, like this is a Clairefontaine Essentials, bullet journal essentially, with an index, a table of contents. You've got numbered pages, and you could easily fit that in here and take out this, you could take out this monthly notebook. I say easily, but let me, this one's getting in the way here. So see, you could fit that in here. And then you've got best of both worlds. So then I've got 2 notebooks in here now, one for nonsense and one for, productivity. Another thing that's cool is that it doesn't necessarily need to be A5, like I said. This is I don't know what size this is, but this is a larger, like almost like a composition size. So you could slide these clips out a little bit. And fit that in here. So go into a meeting. I mean, it's bulky and it sticks out, but you can fit it. is my point. So I think that is really cool. This is absolutely perfect. Exactly what I've been looking for. Okay, well, I'll worry about that later. Exactly what I've been looking for, and yeah, it's great. So if you are on the fence about these notebook systems, see everybody using different ones, Travelers and Plotter and things like that, but it doesn't really fit your use case exactly. I think this is a great option, especially if you like using different paper. One thing about bullet journal is that you're using a notebook for a long period of time, and I tend to get bored with the paper. I like to use different paper. I like to use different inks, different pens, and so you can, if you're using a bullet journal for most of a calendar year, you're going to get bored with it, or you might get bored with it. And so this is a good kind of solution to that quote unquote problem. So yeah, Roterfaden Taschenbegleiter. They're a little bit pricey. I do think it will last a lifetime. Lifetime, everybody says that, and most things don't last a lifetime, but I think this will last a long time. So, 200 or so bucks. I got it on sale. It's a little bit cheaper than that. I got it directly from Roterfaden too. I know that JetPen sells them. But Roterfaden, if you place it online, you can kind of customize it a little bit. And I wanted the 4 sets of clips. So I ordered it online. Took about 2.5 weeks to get it. I didn't get a tracking number or anything. It actually still says on their website when I pull up my order that it's in fulfillment. And then, so I had no idea if it shipped or not. I was just being patient. And then yesterday it just showed up, FedEx. So, I don't know how their communication is, but I really don't care because I have it. So anyways, good option. I would look into it. Thanks. And I will be back this weekend for Pen Chat number 8. I'm going to also do another pen adjacent video, and I'm going to do paper. And I'm going to sample with the same pen, same ink, sample like 12 different types of paper, different GSMs, Japanese paper. And so, yeah, that'll be kind of a fun one. And we'll see how the paper quality is. And I think I know what the winner is going to be. I think it's going to be Cosmo Airlight or the B7 Tranix, but we'll see. I'll make up some categories and some arbitrary categories and do an arbitrary score system. And yeah, we'll do that this weekend. All right. Thanks and have a good day.